but some people, they just ask questions and they can't comprehend. But what's so sweet is that now, as the years have gone on, now people will actually, they'll be like, oh, for this party, we planned like fruits and vegetable platters, and we have
Yeah.
this option. And it's sweet how they will like it's opening their minds, to different
Yeah.
options.
So today we have Rachel von Niederhausen with us. She is a mother of seven and a primarily plant eater, along with all of her children. And she has a lot of interesting things to share with us today. And uh, so we're just gonna start off to try to learn about how do you eat primarily plants with seven children? That's a big question. But yeah, so tell us, Rachel, before we go into that, tell us like a little bit about your journey yourself to eating like primarily plants or whole food plant-based, I guess.
Okay. Well, I love how you said it's a journey because it's definitely a journey. So when I was around 20 years old, or around that age, I just had a lot of digestive issues, a lot of pain when I would eat, and a lot of different things going on. So I went to different doctors, and they did tests and tried to figure out what it was. And so I got diagnosed with IBS, which back then I had never heard of that. I didn't know anyone who had it. So the doctor recommended that I just take more time to eat more slowly, drink Metamucil, to try to get some more fiber in and see if that would help. So I tried
Rather
those
than
things.
vegetables.
What was that?
I said rather than eating vegetables, just drink Metamucil.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like getting fiber from veggies, put it in the water and stir it up. So I didn't find much relief from that, from the Metamucil. Definitely like eating slower, kind of started opening me to some slower practices, which helped. But so at that time, I just had to really start looking at what food I was eating and try to kind of be aware of what would cause more pain, what digested more easily, and go from there. So that kind of started me on my journey of experimenting and asking questions. So then I got married a little bit after that, and my husband had always eaten very healthy growing up. His dad really believed in whole foods and using food as medicine. So that was really awesome, for their family, and that my husband had that awareness and that background. So we always say, try to eat home cooked meals and lots of whole foods, but we still ate different things. So as the years went on and I was still trying to figure out, how to heal my digestive system, we went on a journey of going more whole food plant based. And my husband was open to it because he had that
Yeah.
background. But then probably how long ago? Like, yeah, then just maybe 5 years ago, when my
Mhm.
husband's father passed away, then Steve started really researching and reading scientific journals and
Yeah.
stuff about food and about uh, um, just the different science, behind
Yeah.
food and food as medicine and like what the industry is doing and stuff. And so he spent a lot of time doing that, and then took a course from Cornell, the nutrition course, and just really learned a lot at that point. So we had come like a long way on our journey, toward eating whole food plant based. But about that 5 to 6 year mark ago, then we really went even deeper, and cut out a lot. Cut out kind of the rest of the stuff that we were doing, like eating so a little bit of dairy here and there.
Yeah.
Still using, like, we still do use a little bit of oil, now, but we cut out like coconut oils
Oh, yeah.
and more eggs and stuff, even at that time. And yeah, it's just been amazing. I mean, just as we keep going on our journey, just the amount of energy and knowledge, that opens up. It's amazing. And, for my husband and I, we believe in our scripture that we study, there's the word of wisdom, which talks about whole grains and whole foods. And so kind of like is it the Advent? Uh,
Seventh-day Adventists,
Yeah,
maybe.
Seventh Day Adventist. Yeah,
Yeah.
similar to that. Our church believes in something very similar, and so we are just so grateful, to have those teachings too that we have studied and found that the promises and the blessings are true. So
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. I love that. And so like I guess how did you introduce it to your kids? Like are they 100% whole food plant-based or like yeah, I guess tell me about the process of introducing it to them and where they're at.
yeah, really good question, and kind of the same. It's a journey since I was pretty much on that journey before I got married, and my husband was, had the background and stuff to eat more whole grains and whole foods. Our kids have done it since they were little, which does make it, more like it was already habit, as they went on. But like over the years, like when our older kids were around like 10 and 12, when we were kind of cutting out even more, you know, dairy and sugar and some of the other things. Yeah, it took time. It took time for sure. And we just tried to in our home, we cook whole foods and we try to just eat, all of our like our nutrients and stuff from plants. So whole food plant based here.
Yeah.
And then we give them the opportunity here at home to do it. We try to educate them on the
Yeah.
principles of why. So, we've
Yeah.
shown them documentaries and they help prep the food, which I think it helps so much with kids. Like if they're chopping vegetables and
Yeah.
involved in stirring and the mixing, they love to eat it. There was
Yeah.
this class that I taught in our community, a gardening class, and this one mother told me that her little boy, like he was a very picky eater. But so throughout the class, I would bring different things we'd have from the garden, or I'd make some different seasonal stuff, like these little millet muffins that had cherries and millet, or we had, we'd have cut up nectarines or different things, just that I would try to like introduce them to more fruits and whole grains and stuff and things from the garden. And it was amazing how much he loved that food,
That,
because he was in that class learning and
yeah.
he would willingly try stuff and ask for more. And so I think it's just a matter of giving kids giving them that choice rather than the other choices that are out there. I mean, it makes a huge difference. But so if they're already used to all of those choices, um, you just have to, I don't know. I mean, there's a few different approaches, I think. I mean, someone could just kind of like not buy those things anymore and bring them into their home, because they're going to get those things outside of the home still.
Yeah, and
But
you don't it's that I think you told me earlier that you don't like control what they eat out of the home.
no, because we just try, like I said, we try to just give them the opportunity here to eat that way, help prep it and experience it, then educate them, and then let them choose. And then, yeah, just let them choose. So it's amazing how our kids will choose, like when we were
Yeah.
on our trip just barely in Guatemala,
Oh yeah.
we had, they eat beans and rice and vegetables there, but a lot of meat and eggs and different things that we don't eat a lot of here. And so in our home. So
Yeah.
they were amazing. Like we could still kind of request um, some different options that were more beans and
Yeah.
rice and stuff. And our teenagers, our 14-year-old and our 17-year-old, we gave them the choice. Like, do you want us to request the other meal or do you want the meal that the whole group is having? And this was like 65 other people
Oh
peers
wow.
and teens of theirs, like the people they're meeting for the first time. So you can imagine how they're like, with their other teens, they're wanting to relate and be relatable. But our two oldest, they chose the vegan option when it was the choice.
Wow.
So yeah, because they know how it like makes them feel. And but then of course, like then we go to other parties and stuff, and they'll, sometimes they'll choose to eat what they're serving, and they'll choose to have more dessert or whatever. But I've seen my kids so many times like just take a couple bites and then say like, okay, I'm done. which is what
Yeah.
we try to teach them, like listen to your body and, and enjoying some things every once in a while, like it's okay, it's okay. And if you eat in gratitude and when you're eating in a social setting, but we can eat beforehand so that you're not so hungry when we go,
Yep.
and, um,
You
and yeah,
bring your own stuff,
what was that?
bring your own stuff sometimes, your
Yeah, exactly.
snacks.
And then at different parties, yeah, of course, then we bring dishes that we like to eat, and it's okay if the other people there don't eat it as much. It's totally
Yeah.
fine, but it's at least something there that we like, and usually people there do like it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Kind of like
amazing.
just plant those seeds little by little.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Which is amazing because we, in our church community, so we've been in this specific area for 4 years,
Yeah.
and I mean, at the first, like, just people would ask us questions, and there were some people, like some people at our church events, they would like actually target us and target my kids and like tease them in a way like an adult. I mean, they would come up and try to like offer them like multiple like platefuls of cake or these like big,
Oh,
I'll
geez.
buy your kids like a huge thing of cheese puffs, and they'd always be kind of like pestering us like, why don't you eat this? And we're just like very quietly doing our thing usually, like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
can go to any party and be flexible and like either eat a little bit or take our own stuff or or just
Before.
quietly, pick and choose what we want, from what they're serving. So we're very quiet and flexible, but some people, they just ask questions and they can't comprehend. But what's so sweet is that now, as the years have gone on, now people will actually, they'll be like, oh, for this party, we planned like fruits and vegetable platters, and we have
Yeah.
this option. And it's sweet how they will like it's opening their minds, to different
Yeah.
options. Yeah.
I love it. I loved at like church events or just other friend events, family events. I would be the one to stick out to bring like the plant-based dishes.
Yeah.
And this one time I was able to organize a church event where it was a salad bar and
Exactly.
it looked so much different than the normal
Yes.
stuff that's there, but people liked it, not
Exactly.
that they ever did it again, but they liked it that one time, and they're like, "Oh, cool! It's January. I did good this January." Um,
I love it. I love it. Exactly. So yeah.
um, but so one thing I do want to ask is like at home, how do you make the plants taste good? Like, what are some of the ways that you make them taste good rather than just giving them like straight fruits and vegetables? I mean, maybe you do that sometimes, but like, how do you make dishes and things like that taste good?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we eat a lot of apples and oranges and bananas, and just stuff like that. But we find recipes online. There's so many amazing resources out there now, with recipes like Rainbow Plant Life website. We love their recipes. Forks Over Knives,
Mm.
um, Straight Up Food. They have great ones. And so I think just mixing, like it's all about the spices and the simple combinations that you can create,
Yeah,
just with food. And I think as the taste buds transition and reset, you don't need all of this complicated, rich food all the time. It's like you can be very simple, I mean, potatoes and, wilted spinach and a few other little things can be a meal. It doesn't, but then of course, like sauces are yummy sometimes and different dressings, like so a blender, I love the blender and blending up different,
your own making your own sauces and dressings and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah, so that stuff definitely helps. And then just finding recipes that we like, and we have our kind of our favorite ones that the kids like. And
Give
um
me like top, give me like three off the top of your head.
okay. um well, we love curries, so
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
matzo curry, or my husband makes this really yummy peanut butter stew kind of thing. It's like just with lots of vegetables and then a peanut butter based
Oh,
sauce, and then we
so
just
good.
serve it over rice. Yeah, it's so yummy. So kind of like a what would I say, like Thai dish. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, we love tacos, like a lot of different taco dishes, like lentil tacos, or there's this recipe that we like that my kids request all the time, but it does take a long time, so we don't have it that often. But it's called Crunch Wrap Supreme, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
on that Rainbow Plant Life website. And so, but you make this,
I did that once. I did that. I think you sent that to me a while
yeah,
back. Or you're like
yeah.
so
Did you
hungry.
like it?
Yeah, it was good. It was
Yeah,
good.
no, it's really yummy. So I that taco meat, which is like walnuts and mushrooms. So you make
Yeah.
the taco meat, and then there's a nacho sauce with cashews and smoked paprika and salsa and stuff, and then you layer it up with guacamole and the the plant-based, filling, and then you put it like in the tortilla, and like they do it. Is it Taco Bell, Taco Time, whichever place
I think
serves
it's
it.
Taco
Yeah,
Bell.
then you put it on a griddle and do it. So that's yummy. Or so I'd say those are some of our top ones, like taco. We like spaghetti a lot too, honestly, just like whole wheat spaghetti with red sauce, and then we might mix in different vegetables, but that's a really easy one. And oatmeal, of course, is another like top go to, or like cooked grains, just for breakfast. And trying to think of a few others off the top of my
Oh,
head.
that's more than three. So that's good.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
a little taste. And
yeah.
I mean, in the course that you created for Enliven Foods, I mean, there's a ton
Mhm.
of other recipes as well. And
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
we have
yes.
a free recipe thing that
Yes.
we're giving out to people.
Oh my
Just like
gosh. And the mug muffin with that lemon sauce in the course, that is seriously yummy.
yeah, yeah. Um, and then like you talked about the kids preparing. Like, how do you with seven kids, like how do you make it work budget wise with like all the plants and stuff?
Yeah, well, I don't think buying plants is more expensive than buying other stuff, so I I I don't think it is. I mean, it's actually very cheap, to buy beans and potatoes and rice, and then produce, um, I don't know. I don't think it's more expensive than the other stuff, but we have to, of course, like menu plan and prepare like mostly home cooked stuff. And so, yeah, I try to really plan it out. And then we have a child who's assigned each day to dinner. So they help choose it and they help prepare it.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
it's been good.
that's cool. Yeah, no, I agree. Like if you do a lot of beans and rice and yeah, if you do some potatoes, like that's a lot of bulk that, fills you up. Like beans, rice, seeds, nuts,
Yes.
along with your fruits and vegetables, you're gonna feel full. And like if you get them, I mean, they're not that expensive. Like a can of beans is like $1, and that can be, three servings maybe.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
and rice is super cheap,
Oh, yeah.
and
So
like just get a few spices. You could get some curry spice,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then just like some frozen vegetables and frozen fruits, right? They're can be cheaper than some of the others. So it's definitely doable.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. Yes.
but yeah, you and Robin created this course together. Um, Tell me a little about the Enliven Your Life course. Um,
Yeah, I'm really excited for people to experience it. We just tried to pull together, the best and the brightest in this industry and in this movement, kind of with food as medicine, and give those resources to people. And Robin is so well educated and knowledgeable. And so there's so many stories in there, and good science, backing up different things.
yeah,
And then cooking demos, it's so fun to see someone cook something, so that you can see how it goes and kind of cook along with it. So I
yeah.
think it's a great place. Tons of information there, you know, and
It,
definitely a journey.
it definitely what?
Definitely a journey.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you have videos, then you have like the text, so you can get all of that. But then also one thing that's I think is key is like the mindset, and I think maybe you talked about this, but like helping you to change your mindset, and that's like late, new science. Um, if you look up like for IBS, like the Nerva app, they're using science behind the gut brain connection and practices that some of them you do in the course to help you change your mindset around food
Yeah.
and, you know, calm your gut down if you need to.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that because what was such a sweet thing that happened to me when I actually started this journey is that I got introduced to yoga almost at that exact same time, around the time I was 20. And doing that and that mindfulness and meditation and like breath and movement, I think it's so key to go along, with the good nutrition and what we eat. Because like you said, I mean, the mindset and being able to be like calm in the nervous system and solid in your body and in your mind, you need that to be able to then go out into this social realm and navigate, what you're doing that might be different or the same as what other people are doing, and what you might want to change and what they might be saying you should be doing or shouldn't be doing, and so there's so many layers and levels of how that mindfulness and mindset helps. So yeah, that is a really big key of this course for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then one question I have, I want to ask you is like you've helped a lot of other people on their journey as well. Tell me a little bit about what you do there. Like friends, family. It sounds like you do some coaching maybe. Tell me a little bit about that.
Just over the years, yeah, lots of people asking questions and talking to friends and family. And I've taught I've taught this, gardening class in our community. I've taught yoga over the years. Yeah, with Robin, we did a little bit of consulting and things like that. I've taught different classes on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, those
One
types.
one question I have is like with your friends and just sharing things with them. What are some, or like even in your own experience, what are some of like the main things that hold people up from eating more plants in their diet? What are some of the things that prevent that or
Yeah, I think it's just changing habits. I think, just they just might not know, like some good recipes to try, or they might not have a spouse that's open to it, or their kids, aren't used to it. So trying to think about starting and how and kind of navigating that like uncomfortable start where everyone might be like, ooh, this is gross, or what is this, um,
yeah.
and having to think like, well, am I going to have to cook a bunch of different meals for my family, or am I going to feel like the odd one out at the party? And the truth is, all of that stuff like will happen. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it will. And so
What
then
makes it worth it though?
yeah, but what makes it worth it is just how you feel after
Yeah,
you stick with it and do the hard work to transform and change your mindset and your habits um, and how you feel when you eat like food that is so rich in nourishment and macro and micronutrients and color and taste, just the joy, the sheer joy that is there and the abundance
yeah,
of what the possibilities are. It's so exciting, but it takes navigating that first part, like we talk about in the courts where you go through the withdrawals and
uh,
the uncomfortable side before you can get to that place. And I mean, I will attest, I had to go through it for
yeah.
sure. And so did my husband, and so did my kids. And
And
I'm
what?
just grateful that we stuck with it, because now, I mean, it's still a journey. We're still learning. We're not perfect by any means,
Yeah,
but just the satisfaction and joy that we have now in that place now, because now we're in our comfortable place in it. It's so amazing. And our energy, we like feel energized, we sleep well, our immune systems are strong. When we get things, they don't last like very long, like we recover quickly.
yeah.
It's amazing.
What so along that pain, overcoming all those obstacles, like what helped you along that path? Like how did you get through that, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I'd say like faith, like my faith really helped me through that, just like staying close to God. And then having key friends, I guess, who who I could talk to, because there was one friend that I had when I was around 22 who I met, who was also, like starting to do yoga and who was really trying to eat more whole foods. So we kind of read a book together and talked. So I think like Robin even says, finding that core, finding that core group who
Yeah.
you trust and talk to. And even if they might not be doing it exactly the same, but just someone who will cheer you on. And so,
Even
it,
if they're like virtual or far away, like for me, that's helped.
yeah,
But like, and one thing we do with the course is people that are become part of the course, they are able to hop on a weekly Q&A with Robin. And so they can have that, person to ask questions to and like
makes
support.
all the difference. Yeah, it makes all the difference for that first year or two, and then beyond, then just continuing to find those people who you can talk to and relate to. But it's really an internal journey. And so you really have to do like all the aspects of it so that you feel confident and secure in moving through the uncomfortable places.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I want to see if Robin can hop on for a second. Robin, if you're there, if you could turn on your video and unmute yourself, I'd like to ask you a few questions and kind of get you to bounce off some of the things that Rachel is saying, or just as you've heard Rachel talking, kind of just in the background. Robin, what comes to mind for you? Like, I guess, yeah, what comes to
Well,
mind?
first thing that comes to mind is Rachel's just an incredible presenter and expresses it so well.
Yeah,
I was,
I really think about you.
I missed the first part of the interview, so I don't know, but one of the things I'm amazed by is that she feeds so many, so many kids. And I just did you all talk about that? How you do the
oh yeah,
kids cook and things like that? And
Yeah.
yep,
you all covered that. Okay, so I'll find out about that later. Well, that's one thing that really amazes me. And then I think about all the things you do, because your husband is kind of is very active in the church. And so I imagine you have to do you have church responsibilities, then you homeschool your children, your younger children, and then you have to run errands and just all the things you have to do. And I just think that's one of the amazing things is that, when people think they can't do this, think about Rachel.
yeah.
She
And,
does
and
it.
it sounds like some of the things you did, educate your kids, help them know like the basic science principles behind it, right? Help them allow them to do it with you,
Yeah.
right? Experience it with you. Give them a choice, let them have their, own agency to be able to choose whether or not they want to do this. And then, kind of don't like force it on them when they're not in the house.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And we
well,
don't
even
get hung up.
when they,
Yeah, we don't get too hung up or stressed. And we did before maybe. So it was a journey because,
yeah,
when you're in it, you kind of do get like, ah. But now we just learned to let go. And that's just a process, but just really letting it be a choice. And kind of like I was saying for you, just finding the joy.
yeah,
Everyone has to move through the uncomfortable part. But then when you get to that place where it's just like, I can eat and joy wherever I'm at, I can always find something or modify something or bring something or eat before or fast, you know.
yeah.
I mean, there's just so many options, always. It's amazing.
And
I
another
have one
thing that
question.
I
Oh,
wanted to
go.
say something that Rachel said that I thought was interesting, that, talking about how you don't have to make all this really super, I guess, palatable food, fix it up in all these different ways, that you could just make it so simple. And I wonder, it's been so long, I guess, Rachel, it's been a long time since you transitioned to this, and it's been a long time since I have. And I'm trying to think what it was like in the beginning, because now I eat so simply. I
Yeah.
mean, and I'm sure you all do too, because you're used to it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what it was like, because I was a gourmet chef, what it was like for me in the very beginning. I remember in the very beginning, I did eat, I ate wild salmon quite a bit, and a lot of vegetables and big salads. And
Mhm.
I'd have a smoothie for breakfast every morning.
Mhm.
And then I would have lunch, which would often be a big salad, and I'd put beans in it and berries. I mean, I learned from Dr. Furman, you could put beans and berries and nuts and seeds.
Mhm.
And I put that in there. And then dinner, I would, do some cooked vegetables and
Yeah.
kind of the things that I used to do. And then I'd have maybe, grilled piece of wild salmon and a sweet, baked sweet potato or something like that. And
Yeah.
some beans. And then it just got simpler and simpler
Yes.
and simpler, where I don't even, I mean, you don't even have to do the smoothies anymore. I mean, they're easy. Smoothies are super easy to do, and you can just put everything in it. But I
know, but kind of like you're saying, I mean, it's even easier than a smoothie to just actually eat a little bit of what you'd put in, and then
right.
So it just, you learn how to just keep simplifying. But at the first, like you said, it seems boring. It seems totally boring, because it's just like these whole food ingredients. But
I don't know. It's been, for me, like I did a lot of it on my own, and I kept things very simple because I was working, a corporate job at Walmart. And now married, I just got married, and my wife is on board with it, and she likes experimenting. For us, it's fun. We have a little bit more time, but for us, it's fun. How do we make this taste good? How do we do this? And so it can be fun too.
Oh, yes.
If you're into making food,
Yeah.
how do you make things taste good? And it's not that hard. A lot of the things that taste good already that you normally eat come from plants. They're just way extracted and overdoing it,
Yes, amen. Exactly. So there's all the ways. And so there's the ways where you can definitely experiment and try all the new things. And there's a way when the time and season calls for it, it can be so simple. And that's the beauty of it. There's just such abundance, any which way you want it, It's amazing.
Once you break through into it. But I remember in the beginning, I always took food with me. I always took a bag that I'd make this trail mix. It had dried goji berries in it. It had different nuts in it. I always loved cashews and pumpkin seeds. And I would put raisins in it, and dates. I was always eating dates. I still eat a lot of dates. And I would take that with me everywhere I went. And fruit. Then I'd have an apple or a banana. And so I never went anywhere without food. That was one of the things I quickly learned. I learned if I would go without food and I'd get hungry, then I'd be tempted to eat something that I would regret later.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask one question before we end to you, Rachel. For you, where do mug muffin meals fit in this journey of yours to eating plant-based, or where you're currently at, eating plant-based?
Yeah, for me, they fit in in a breakfast or for a snack if I need something, in between a lunch and a dinner. But there's so many possibilities to use them. Cooking them for to use with a chili or something at dinner. And we talk about this in the course and give some different recipes. So but that's how we use them right now. I'd say for a quick breakfast, or for a snack, or if my kids I have them there, and so they can use them if they get hungry at some meal or between. And they're so quick and so easy, and they taste good, and they're filling, so I love them.
Yeah Cool. Well, any other questions you have, Robin, or anything, Rachel, that's on your mind that you want to share that you think might help people in their journey to eating primarily plants or whole food plant-based?
How about you, Robin? Yeah, anything? I would say just keep going, just keep going, and it's not all or nothing, it's not an all or nothing thing. So don't it's a journey to self-awareness and definitely self-discipline, but we all make mistakes, and we all kind of go up and down. So it's wherever you're at, it's okay. Just keep moving forward, and the benefits of eating whole foods, the way that the earth gives them to us, and the way they work in our bodies. It's just so beautiful. And in our culture, there's just so much going against that. But the truth is out there in many different places, So like in that Enliven Your Food course, you know, we try to do it. There's scripture about it. There's lots of pockets of people around the world doing it. You know, there's science, there's doctors. I mean, there's just so much truth out there, but you have to go seeking. You have to be a truth seeker, because the media and the marketing is just feeding us so many lies. So just if,
Yes,
but if you
yes,
seek for
true.
truth, like you'll find it, and you'll like be able to grow and grow in that.
Awesome. Love it.
I agree.
Well, cool. Thanks so much for your time. And yeah, we're
Thanks for
excited
chatting.
to share this with people.
Yeah, thanks. So fun. I love